I know you never hurt me, but that's okay. 'Cause once you hear my pipe in, you're gonna walk this way. Now I sound different. Nothing quite.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special edition of hashtag Fade to Black. I am here with one of the panelists, my boy, Billingsley. How you doing, sir?
Rolling with it, brother. That's all I'm doing. Just rolling with it, man. For real.
That's great. We have the other panelists that's gonna be here, including Mayo. So I got to let y'all know some breaking news that happened a couple minutes before the show. Our guest, Levi Sanders, son of Senator Bernie Sanders, will not be attending the show. To be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not disappointed. I'm feeling some type of way. I'm gonna be completely honest with each and every one of you. There has been times where we had guests that were supposed to be on the show and either they never turn up or they last minute had to bail. And this one right here falls into that category. So for me and the panel on this show, on behalf of the show, we want to apologize, but we're going to get into more in-depth detail about that because I had a whole lot of questions right here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, all this right here, all the cue cards, all the questions and all that stuff. How much questions did you have ready for the show?
I had a few, not as many as you have because you are far bigger researcher than I am. But it was more simple stuff, it seems like, and it's crazy. It's a great. What's up?
No, I'm doing. I'm giving a thumbs up to Mayo. See if he's in
here. What is he doing?
And then we have
Money
Man. Then we got Money Mayo in the building.
That's your name, Money Mayo.
So Mayo, I know you want to give the announcement, but you know I given the announcement, and I want you to before we go into further, and then also we got Beast is in the building too as well.
My man.
So before we go any further, before we go to opening statements, like I said, we're gonna go more deep in depth on the reason why Mr. Sanders, Levi Sanders, is not gonna be on the show. So I'm gonna pass the ball to Mayo to explain much more about it. Mayo, floor is yours.
Right. So good evening, everyone. Levi and I have been good friends actually since the 2016 DNC. We met in Philly. When his dad was running for president, and we got a good opportunity one night to hang out with Rosario Dawson, Shane Woodley. I guess I was supposed to be in a van that was supposed to pick him up. And I was with Nina Turner, and they dropped off Nina, and they were supposed to drop him back off. Then they diverted that van to pick him up. And Levi and the rest of the folks who I just talked about, and so we've been friends since then. Very tight friends, close friends. Talk about politics all the time on the phone and all kind of stuff. But I know he's been on my other shows in the past. So this time when I invited him, he said he was going to come. I was excited, and I was excited to let everybody know. And somewhere along the way, I'm disappointed because I've just been so busy the last few days. And I've not had a chance to, just call him and, kind of like I said, I would. So I'm disappointed that, somewhere along the way, he's not showing up tonight. Not because it's too busy or whatever, but just because he's upset because I didn't call him back like I said I was. That sound like you were childish, and I'm disappointed. But I'll leave it at that. I know that normally I'll try to, find some, show business reason to give, but I'm kind of upset and disappointed myself, and the fact that there's such a thing, a reason that he would do such a thing for such a reason. So it is what it is. He's not going to be maybe we just talk about the fact is that because that's one thing that I asked him going to talk about is how he felt about his dad not zeroing out running against Joe Biden or running against whoever runs in 2024. His dad did not zero out the chance of him running in that race. So I wanted to talk about that because he's still a senior advisor on his dad's campaign. But his dad is always kind of like, well, I'll share more in the near future of what I know of their relations and all that. So, but it's just very disappointing to know that that with that chance of us being able to have that conversation with him isn't snatched because of some of petty reasons. So, but I'll let us go into the show more, then we'll share more.
Yeah, man. Thank you for that. Once again, for everybody who just tuning in, unfortunately, Levy, whatever he wanted to be called, Levi Sanders, is not going to be joining us. We're going to be talking more in depth into that. I feel the same pain, the same resentment of that because we had people on this show that was supposed to come on and did these things, but this is a high profile one if we can be compared to other guests that we had on this show. So having this,
quite frankly, I think that we take it as high profile. I don't think. I mean, his dad is the one that is the U.S. senator. His dad is one that's a former presidential campaign candidate. So he was been riding on his dad's coattail, and it's sad when young people riding on people's coattail now. You're now acting like you are. I mean, we invited you so we can get an insight of what's going on in someone that we know of, which is a dad. Is your dad's life, not because of something great that you've done. I mean, he's running for U.S. Congress before, and his dad just distanced himself from the race. And we talked about it. I tried to help him out in that race as well, as much as him and I has talked about different races that I've ran. Neither him and I have been elected yet, but I've been striving and doing work in the community, and it's just. I apologize on behalf of the show for folks who might want to listen today, and just the fact that he would do that is kind of a little bit disappointing. So I mean, I wouldn't call it upset, because it's not like I mean, I've had Danny Glover on my show before. I've had Cornel West on my show before. If those can be nice to show up, who are you, Levi Sanders? I mean, because when I texted him, I said, "What's going on? How can you not show up?" One thing he responded with was, "No, he said you're gonna call me the other day." I'm like, "What?" They get like, "That's what he like." What?
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yeah.
So now let's go ahead and jump into these opening statements because the talk don't stop just because Mr. Levi Sanders is not here. So we're gonna talk more about him. But we're going to get into these opening statements. And Billingsley, my friend, my homie, you are first at bet. And we like to thank our sponsors of Sky Zone Society. So let's go on and jump into our opening statements.
All right, you guys. I feel honored to even be here. Honestly, just like I told Darnell, I was going to just watch this show to see how it happened. But the thing is, what you got to understand is this. Darnell, this is your fault because you was going to surround this man with too many Negroes that he's not really used to have it. And the thing is, I think it's a show of your integrity when this type of stuff happens. One of my biggest things that I want to go ahead and portray to the panel, naturally, you can feel the way you want to feel about not being able to deliver to the audience what you advertise, but I'm going to say here before everybody that this is not your fault. you two are men. You were willing to go ahead and stand by what you said that you stood by, and just because one other person didn't go ahead and do what they were supposed to do, it's not your fault. So the thing is, this is my belief on it. I think he probably had some people to, watch some of the past episodes, and they probably advised him that it's not a good idea, because just as you see, our host had a whole bunch of questions which made a whole lot of sense, and all we can do is just move on regardless of what has happened. So I will go ahead and leave it at that, not taking too much time. All right.
Ohio, konbanwa. Well, as the aforementioned devil's advocate, black sheep, and overall scapegoat, allow me to fall on this sword. I agree with Billingsley's summation of possible events, and I can only ascertain that my inclusion might have played somewhat of a factor. Yeah, I'm a little more boisterous and blunt in my approach, and that is not very political for some people, and I understand. I don't take it personal. As a professional, I do, because we promoted him and we all had intentions of engaging in a very, very in-depth and deep conversation to try to educate and enlighten the panel as well as the viewers. Que sera, que sera. Whatever will be, will be. We still got a rain top. We still got some clowns. Still got a strong man, some elephants. So that monkey ain't gonna stop this show. And with that being said, I yield the floor.
Yeah, folks. Back on again. My opening statement is just to enjoy life and understand that like we're all at the end of the day superstars and great leaders and great people in our own right. So the idea that this show was probably not what it could be today because of so again, somebody who's a son of in tone that we all know, it's just one of those things that we should not let get to us. We should find a way and make it what it was going to be, which is going to be me talking about business and about the way we can build homes with 3D machines, which is one of the things I'm doing, and which is innovative in the United States culture. Is one that's only been done in 6 states. So I don't even want to put energy towards Levy. I sent him the link, so I did put on my text that I thought him not showing up for something that he promised to be at was cowardly, and that if he felt the need to show up, they would. So again, his end was a friend. I'm just very disappointed that a grown man would be, in taking the actions that he's taken, I'm sure we're not the only show that somebody has missed before or somebody had to not show up. I just don't think that he has enough excuse or whatever. And quite frankly, trust me, nobody is doing the research but him and the show. We often think because the national campaign, that they have the apparatus to their campaign does, but is that really does not concern himself with what Levy does. I'm that close enough to them to know that we again since 2016 we've talked like a lot of times over the wee hours of the night talking about politics, and just about how things have worked. So I mean, I've been a good friend to this guy, and I'm disappointed that we're just being able to get something out to because this was going to be something. It was breaking news a few nights ago when they said that his dad is now zeroed out the opportunity or the possibility of running in 2024. And I mentioned that to him that, hey, we're going to get a chance to talk about it. He might, you might put out show a little more on the map than it is already, so because people might be able to find out more the inside about that. And he said, "Oh, no worries, I don't mind doing that for you." What I mean? So I'm your friend, So I think that the idea of being able to thinking he's taking that back is kind of disappointing, So again, I know that probably his opening statement is supposed to be what it's supposed to be, but I think the most thing I can say about opening statement is for us to try not to be in that space where we're so petty and so tacky, because at the worst times it can come out like days like this. It came out. Normally, typically, it's not typical of me to try to be outright and just telling the truth about stuff. I try to cover people's story up, try to cover their mistakes up or their mess up. But this time, because it was a direct infliction on me and a direct assault to my to something that I'm doing. I'm tired of trying to cover up for people who I think they should be friends. So that being said, it is what it is.
First of all, before I jump in, I appreciate all three of y'all for letting what y'all need to say come out in your opening statements. I'm gonna leave what I want to say for the start of the show. So my opening statement is what's going on with Twitter. If y'all living under a rock, which I know that you're not, Elon Musk just bought Twitter. And a lot of y'all celebrate. Woohoo! Free speech is back again. No more getting shot, man. Y'all know each and every one, y'all. Y'all just singing, dancing, laughing. But I'm here to tell you, it's not a celebration that you think it is. A lot of y'all, it's funny, even in my place of work, that was the talk of the town for the past 2 weeks. I keep my ear close to the ground. And I go by this one saying that a major told me when I was deployed. He said, the quiet man hears everything. And the biggest thing was, if Elon Musk buy Twitter, they're going to bring back Donnie T. And y'all know who Donnie T is. They're going to bring him back, reinstate his account, and he's back on Twitter again. And my thing is this. Every time I hear about free speech, people don't understand. Free speech is not pertaining to me talking to you. When they say free speech, it's pertaining to the government. Meaning this. The police cannot beat you upside your head if you say Black Lives Matter. A politician cannot order the FBI to raid in your house because you're pro-life. All those things are protected by the Constitution pertaining to the government, not person to person. So remember, with all these reinstatements of accounts, that people that should have been off are now coming back. Now, a lot of y'all saying, well, there's a lot of great people that are coming back that shouldn't have had their accounts taken away in the first place. I get that. But I'm worried about the ones that says that says a lot of homophobic, xenophobic, crazy freaking tweets, misinformation type of Twitter users that are coming back. I've always said, and I would still say on this show, not everybody deserves to sit at the table. Not everybody's thoughts and opinions should be shared. That's why this society is messed up as it is. Because everybody got something to say. Even the one over here that's sitting there saying, oh, it's about your feelings. But you here at the table complaining. Because if you let everybody sit at the table, who are we going to listen to? And then you're going to have so many people at the table. Then eventually you're going to have people laying on the table, standing up on the table, because everybody wants to be heard. The floodgates has opened. Now, if Elon Musk want to turn Twitter around and change rules and all that stuff, I have no problem with that. But understand this. He lets Donnie T get his account back and let a lot of these other people get their counts back. It's going to be the inmates running the asylum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not free speech. It's a free for all. If you want to see where our society is, but in the social media type of sense, look at your Twitter account these coming days. I'm not saying that the powers that did a great job. I'm not saying that at all. But I promise you, a lot of y'all, some with common sense and logical thinking and critical thinking, going to wish that they shouldn't have sold it. And before we go into the show, I'm going to end it with this. Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter just for free speech or for you or for me. That man just did that to show you he got money to buy anything. And you can't. You are just nothing but a spoke on the wheel. I won't say spoke. You're not but a rock that is stuck on this wheel. He could care less if you feel that this is great for free speech or not. He just showed you that he can buy it and do whatever he wants with it. And treat it like all of his cars that he has in his garage. Set it and forget it. But this also should be something that you should be nervous about too as well. If he can go and buy Twitter and do whatever, will make you think wherever you're working at that he can buy that out. We have that same energy? Just saying. And with that, let's get on with the show. This very special show. Let's go. And like that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. Let me introduce my panel once again. I got my boy over here. We got Billingsley, who's been coming on the show for the past 3 days, as well as Money Mayo. He said he was going to come on time. He came on time, but he just popped out. And then my dog, my bruh, Beast Johnson. How y'all? How each and every one of y'all doing?
Pretty good today.
Good. Oh, Billsy just popped out. I thought it was Mayo. I'm sorry, Mayo. Sorry.
Good. I said I was gonna be, and I'm still here. Now let me stop.
But
I'm still here. I said I wasn't.
Okay, Antoine. Okay. Let me hug your neck, nigga, so you can calm down.
So hopefully Billsy he pops back in. But once again, let me show y'all the questions I had. I have cue cards. I got like 4 cue cards deep. So before I give my spill on how I feel about this, let me go ahead and ask. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the questions that I would have asked if he was here. So one of the questions was, what is a populist, what it means for you, and how would it help Black people and minorities? Then my most important one was, what does the Black agenda looks like under your leadership? Who would you reference or get information from? That one was right there. That was my number one. And then here's my other question. I was going to mention about a Vox article when I was doing my research that I found about him. When you hear identity politics, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Those were a few of my questions that I would have had for him. I think many shows, I'm not even gonna lie, I just go on the top of my dome. I'm gonna be straight up. I go on top of my dome. But when I have a guest on the show, I do my due diligence and I have questions and I have like points and remarks on what I want to talk about and just elaborate from there. So for him not showing up, am I disappointed? Yes, I'm very disappointed. But 2, we had this happen on the show before. We had people that
it ain't nothing new.
Right. We had people that told us that they was going to be on the show and they either didn't show up or 2, they had last minute stuff. That's and majority of the time it's understandable because you got people that got other engagements that they either forgot about or family emergency. Like with the vegan pastry bakery here. They were supposed to come on the show, but unfortunately, they had a death in the family, had to travel back to Virginia. And I still need to get them on the show, and we still cool. See, that right there, I get. But for this one right here, it only is going to motivate us to do better, get better, and put out better content. Because this show is not just some random brothers and sisters. In regards to our sister Anita, Teach. This show is going to be the most single important show that is on Facebook, that's on Twitch, that's on YouTube, where we will talk about Black issues and how it affects us. Like I said, we got different views, but guess what? We're going to the same destination, looking for the same solutions. And so that's what this show is all about. We're not always going to agree, which also makes this show special. We do talk about the issues, which makes this show special. But what tears us apart from shows like this, from everybody else, we talk about the solutions. We get to the solutions. We just don't stay in the problems. We know it's like if we're all stuck in freaking quicksand, we're not going to sit there and complain about we're in quicksand. Yes, we're in quicksand. The goal is, how do we get out of this quicksand? Let's tie our shirts together and just start throwing a rock or something.
Yes.
Or if somebody is tall enough, because I'm sure as hell can touch the bottom and be like, oh, snap. Hey, I touched the bottom. And then we go on from there. There's no victim who on the show, but at the same time, we're going to talk about the issues and problems. But as much energy that we have talking about the issues and problems, that's as much power and energy we're going to have for finding the solutions. And that's why this show, Fade to Black, our slogan is control the narrative.
Yes. Thank you so much for
That's
saying
the
that.
biggest reason. And that's the
If I
biggest
could,
reason for this show.
if I could make an addendum for the evening, first and foremost, I was supposed to do this for our guest, but I'm gonna do it to give praise and give a proper greeting and welcome to our part-time correspondent, Brother Billingsley.
Yeah.
So from a current who learned it from a former, and I give it to the new. You know where I'm going down there. Mayor,
yes,
you know
sir.
where I'm going to. All the way from Nigeria, shouts out to Professor O. All I need you to say, just follow them. Imani Wado. Hey.
What the hell?
And you are now officially welcomed. Officially a panelist of Fade to Black.
Are you serious, bro?
Dead serious.
Yeah. I'm making an executive play on this one real quick. I don't give a damn. I got happy energy in me.
Dude, when
I want to make that known that if Donnell was already thinking about it, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there. But the addendum I wanted to bring to the table, in lieu of not being able to have a in-depth political discussion with someone that's currently there, but we do have a politically minded brother. And we have 3 other intelligent individuals in their perspectives. So I want to bring up a plan. The super PAC that we're starting is for the initial purpose and benefit of establishing the legal ownership of all Black and African intellectual properties.
Hey,
I see that.
And I want to make this specific when I say Black and African intellectual properties. If you can definitively prove that a nigga did it, or someone, or as you white folks say, someone with a drop of Negro blood did it before you Caucasoids, it's ours. It's our property. We claim it. Or as I should use your words in historical verbiage, manifest destiny. Sorry. But yes, I want to pose that so that newer viewers that were in the hopes of seeing Baby Bernie will still be enlightened and entertained. Because this is something that we've kind of mulled around with the super PACs and whatnot. So I bring this to the table. Money Mayo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know.
I got Money Mayo for the finances and the lobbying. I got my brethren Billingsley and Donnell. They gonna help with the military. That's the peacekeeping. So we need to come together. Really, it's just like, how can we use the structure that they have forced upon us to truly establish ourselves in a manner that is respectfully gangster. You know, like showing up at their house playing with their kids before they get home, gangster. Like that, because that's what we need to do. That's the only way we as Black people are really gonna come together, is if we can ensure some kind of true foundation, true core that we all are connected to and we all have access to.
See,
no matter our personal preferences and whatnot. Because the one thing that Professor O really enlightened me on when it came to Black folk is we was never meant to really get along because we never knew about each other. it was only because of slavery that we knew there's an east side, there's a west side, and oh shit, there's some shit in the middle.
And see, that was one of my questions. It's funny. What you're saying right now was actually one of my questions that I was going to ask. So one of my questions was this right here. Why do you think Black issues are pushed aside? And
I'm sorry, birds of a feather tend to flock together.
that was one of my biggest questions. And I was like, hopefully I got people watching now or people that's going to be watching later when it comes
feel
to
free to add me.
Yeah. that says that why should we vote when our issues get pushed aside and all that stuff. So let me jump on their bandwagon real quick. Let me jump in their cells. Let me see what they see.
Excuse me.
It is understandable that they feel that way. Like, let's say if I, down in Alamonte Morris, I never voted in the past 32 years I've been on this, but I decided to vote just, this year. Well, last year, I'm saying. And I voted. My biggest concerns was, I'm just going to make up something, I want reparations. I'm going to put that there. I want reparations. I want... I want this person was talking about reparations, and they say that they're going to push, some agendas into it about reparations.
Mm-hmm.
Voted for the person. They ended up winning. A year passed. Nothing. This guy or girl is always in the media. Their face is always on CNN. Their face is always on Fox News. Their face is always on OEM. Their face is even on these independent media spots where they're talking about the good work that they do. And you sit back and you wondering, reparations. I'm going to work and I'm sitting there telling people like, hey, such and such, they doing a good job. But they keep getting at you like, man, what about the reparations, dog? What happened to reparations? This is why you vote, as my boy Dwight will always do. What about the reparations, dog? He was talking about reparations. You won't be voting. This your first time voting. I don't hear him talking about reparations. I don't watch news that much. But when I'm sitting there with my grandma after her stories and it pops up, I hear nothing about reparations. Mm-hmm. And it's a bullet that I have to eat every day because as much as they're making sense, even though they're misinformed, they got a point. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand, I'm on that, like I said, I'm all about voting, but it goes beyond that. But now I'm just talking about the person that sit there and say that this is the reason why I don't vote, why I haven't voted, because you need to do something for my vote. You need to do something much, much more than just talk. I don't need you to always, and then also tell me, and I want anybody to interrupt me if I'm wrong. Why every time when y'all try to aim for the Black vote, y'all always want to meet with me in a church. You always want to go to my grandma's church that I had to go to ever since I was freaking small. Had to hear the preachers preach the same thing, and I'm falling asleep in the pulpit, grabbing my freaking auntie like I gotta go to the Bible. No, you ain't going nowhere. You gonna listen to the good word. Or you can go there early for Sunday school. You sit there like, man, I could have been playing with JoJo, Leon. You've been doing this ever since you was freaking 4. Until you turn 12, you get to make decisions on your own, and you be like, auntie, I don't want to go. The reason why I'm telling you this, because I was that person. And so, why you want to, first of all, have your freaking talks in a church that's going to bring back nothing but bad memories, and I'm trying to talk politics with you and policies.
I got an answer for.
Go ahead.
I got an answer for what you just said. Okay, you got to dig real deep on this. Okay, like think slavery, right? When slavery had came about, there were churches developed for slaves, right? And if you look at it, because there's a Bible in D.C. right now in a museum that shows you the slave Bible, right? It's about as thick as the regular Bible, but if you look at it, you really read through that, about probably 75% of it is out of it. Anything that has to do with Jesus, anything that has to do with any type of freedom, any type of thing that has to do with, Moses setting the captives free, that's all out of there. The main thing that's in there is obeying your master, right? So therefore, you go with what politicians have understood, that Black people are spiritual. Let's look at O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson, when he had that trial going on and he needed money and he was gathering up folks and everything to go ahead and try to get the money that he needed in order to go ahead and win that case. When he met Black people, where did he go? In the church. He went to the church. Matter of fact, I know specifically because in D.C., when he came to D.C., he made a world tour. He came to D.C. and went into this Black church and started the speech off, the Lord has been good to me. And everybody passing out in the aisle. Yes,
the Jews.
Yes.
The Lord has been good to the Jews too.
Exactly.
Remember, I'm not Black, I'm OJ.
Right.
Stop it.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's from concentration.
Oh, I was found my seat.
That's not the original. That's not the original Jews.
But that's what I'm saying. He went to the church. Al Gore went to the church. Hillary Clinton went to the church. Bill Clinton went to the church. Anytime it has something to do with Black people, they go to the church because they know that we're spiritual beings when it comes to that type of stuff. So therefore, when you go ahead and have, certain issues, it is like I heard, oh man, I forget this gentleman's name, but I don't want to give him advertisement on your show. But what he basically said was, when it comes to Black people, everything is spiritual. When it comes to other races, everything has an agenda. Prime example of that was the Asian hate litigation that was thrown out. There was an Asian hate bill that was thrown out, a year ago, if I'm not mistaken.
I did hear about that.
If there was a crime against any Asian person whatsoever, you were going to jail for a very long time. You know what I mean? Because of this bill. So the thing is, when it comes to Black people, we are given trinkets. Look at when Obama was getting elected. What was given to some of the voters? Obama phones, right? Certain Obama phones.
If you had food stamps, yeah.
Right. Certain things that meant nothing. But when you give us trinkets, we're satisfied. We have a spokesperson and trinkets, and we're cool with it. But then
when you give us daily novelties.
Right. And so when other people are getting certain things, we're wondering, why are we not getting those things? Because you don't come with a list of things that is necessary, and you don't threaten the politicians and tell them this is what we need. And
what's the word you use?
If you don't give us what we need, we're not voting for you. Now let's take it a whole step further, right?
Ice T or Ice Cube? Which one is it? Is it Cube?
Huh?
It's Cube T right now.
No, I'm saying which one of them came up with that whole thing about, hey, we're not gonna vote for the presidential election. You sound just like him. Yeah,
it was Ice Cube. Ice Cube was the most recent one.
Yeah. But that's what he was trying, right? That's what he was trying.
Yeah.
But let's go to those people the other thing that you mentioned, right? You said the thing about the people that got this person elected, guy or girl, right? If you gave, if you notice, if you gave the most donation into a particular political party or for a person that's running, what happens to those people? Whatever agenda that they wanted, it gets passed because he has promises to those people that contribute to his or her election.
What?
So F what you saying, you're going to get trinkets while they get what they told this guy. If you don't go ahead, if we are vouching for you with our money, and if you don't go ahead and follow through with that, we coming to see you.
Yeah, and Billsley, you just said that one part where you said that we should organize with our vote. We should be like, okay, put you in. Now you need to follow through in what you're saying. I've been preaching that for the whole.
But you know the biggest thing in that whole statement, the word want.
Oh,
that's what differs us from other races, other folk is similar to comparable situations and backstories. We always say, how do all our protests go? What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it now?
Yeah.
What do we want? Freedom. When do we want it? Fuck what I want. People always like, what do you want in life? I'm sorry. I grew up. I grew up with trauma as a child. So wanting things, like wanting for real, wanting things, and for me, I ain't never really got shit I want, but I always had the shit I need.
What you need, and see,
and when I focus on what I need, I easily come across the shit I want, and I have more access to the shit I want.
Right, and see, and that's why that's why I don't agree with protesting. Protesting is not what it was back in the day. I believe me and Mayo.
No, I ain't got a problem with it.
We actually had a conversation
switch
about
it
it on
up.
the show. Protest for me, when we talk about Dr. King, Martin Luther King era, that's when protest meant something. Because guess what? You had to protest, you had to boycott. When black people stopped doing stuff, guess what? Nothing moved.
No.
But that goes back to wordplay.
Yeah, money.
We got to switch it up now.
Money was lost. Jobs were lost. The economy flipped on its freaking head. You talk about inflation now. When you had black people stop working and working for the white folks and all that stuff, inflation was the least of their damn worries because they know their people is not going to go and do the damn job that what they were going to do. But let me continue on with this because both of y'all hit on great points.
Get to your spot.
I've been preaching what I've been saying. So here's the thing. Going back to my position with people who says I need this for my vote. And if you don't give it to me, I'm not going to vote. But what do you have to stand on? Because people want to talk about and this goes from what you were saying, Billsy, to what Beach was saying about the needs and wants thing. Everybody want to talk about the LGBTQ. It's the agenda out there. It's like I see a lot of gay stuff and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. You want to know something? They got organizations that hold their politicians accountable. I actually went to my first Pride Parade, well, I actually sat in one and see how it goes. My very first one, 3 years ago. I think it was 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They literally had a politician, a state representative, come there. He was the anybody correct me if I'm wrong, an honorary, guest. It's a name that goes for it.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
for parades and stuff like that. I got you.
Right. Yeah. So he was the main man to host everything.
Right.
And also he's a gay man too, because when I was talking with the people around there, it was like, man, I always see him on there like every once a Saturday and all that stuff. Sometimes he usually come in on Thursdays. So this guy is there with the people.
Right.
Which what I'm saying is he knows without them, he has no career.
Right.
Which goes back to your point of the backers.
Mm-hmm.
And with the LGBTQ community, that people don't realize, rather than sitting there saying that, oh, they pushing pedophilia and all that stuff, you need to understand that you need to see their power structure.
Mm-hmm.
And why they getting all these bills passed. Now let's go back to what you were talking about, the Asian crime bill. You want to know why the Asian crime bill got through? It's because the current administration pressured
Mm-hmm.
by Asian groups,
Mm-hmm.
super PACs that was like, look, my people vote for you and we endorse your campaign. If you want to keep these votes, you might want to pass this bill. And sometimes the group even, I mean, the Heritage Foundation, because they got another separate super PAC, they literally told you, like, in front of the world, we even draft up the bills our damn selves. We just give it to the politician to push it.
Yep.
So they basically said the quiet thing loud.
Right. Right.
And so this is why, and going back to Beast's point about the needs and wants, this is why we keep being in this circle. We're that hamster in the freaking that little wheel, because we're sitting there saying we want reparation, which I talked about, and it's giving me a freaking headache talking about. I can't believe I use it as an example, but the reason why we're not going to get reparation and we need to stop talking about it and start being about it is because we don't have strong enough organizations. Even though all the organizations we have, we don't force them to change their ways. We don't jump in and endorse them and being like, look, the old guard ain't working. We need to have some young meat. We need to have some young bloods up here. People with a different mindset that really want to push the Black agenda. So when we put these politicians up on here, we're not pushed on the side, or at least be like, hey, just set up a meeting. No. We meet when we say we meet. Now on your terms.
Yep.
We should literally, when we come up on Capitol Hill, or because people don't understand too, they have offices in their districts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They got offices that literally say their name. Like it would be Senator Donnell Monte Moore's House of Representative of District 14.
Right.
You can go up in there and be like, we're here. And he shouldn't be like, oh, well, or she shouldn't be like, well, I'm gonna be there. No, I'm here.
You know what's killer about what you just said? When I used to, one particular summer, I had worked for free for Eleanor Holmes Norton, right?
Oh, wow.
Eleanor Holmes Norton is a House representative who's been in the thing for over 30 years. And I literally sat in her office and seen like homeless people or whoever came up with a particular situation, and they gave it to her secretary, and then she either came out and addressed it. But my whole thing, that what I wanted to point out is something that you said about the March on Washington, right? The thing is, the March on Washington, do you understand why that was a dangerous thing during the time period and why it worked? The reason why it worked is because DC was afraid when that happened, because Dr. King and whoever that was behind the scenes gathered that many people, that many Black people of all people in one area. And so what they thought was going to happen, what they really thought was going to happen, they thought Black people were about to tear DC to the freaking ground. But when they saw that it was a peaceful protest, it was like, oh, okay. All we got to do is offer these fools jobs, and it was going to be okay. And what happened? They offered them jobs, and they left the shit alone. Now, let's take it a step further. Not too long ago, they celebrated the 50th anniversary of the March on Washington, right? Mm-hmm. Who was at the head of that? Al Sharpton. Anyway, the thing is with this, he was standing there. They all was standing there talking and everything. They had all these black people there and stuff. And then what the significant moment was when it was all over, all the black people dispersed. And I thought to myself, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Because what you just proved is the power that had in the 60s, it don't have the power that it has now.
Nope.
I'm one of the original people that went to the first original Million Man March. And I went through that whole thing. I ran into some gang members, the Zulus, to be exact. I ran into these dudes and
Apologies.
everything. And that was the only time that I ran into some cats like that. It was by accident, and they looked and they were like, "Hey, it's okay, brother. It's good." Then I saw this really big basket being passed around. Dollars were being put in there, right? And then you naturally had guest speakers, Maya Angelou, Jesse Jackson of all people, and then you had Louis Farrakhan on there.
It sounds like a mega church. I
And
came
I'm
in late.
standing there, and I'm seeing. No, you're good. You're good. So I came in there, and I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing, he had this vast thing that he was saying, and then when he left, we all left. And then all of a sudden, I'm thinking, when I got home, I was like, this man made $1 million, and we didn't even realize it. But what happened after that? You get an anniversary of the Million Man March. You get an anniversary of the March on Washington. And there's no legislation, nothing that's being done through what you guys are saying of how people are rolling with this and everything. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back, okay?
I got you. But yeah, it was a lot of sense that he was making in that, because listen to all the names that he mentioned in the Million Man March. But mainly Minister Farrakhan. But all those names like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, their names get drugged in the mud. But when you hear Minister Farrakhan, he's in high regards, but he was there and nothing contributed or happened from that. But that's for a different story. But Mayo, I want you to chime in. I know you were sitting back, collecting the thoughts and all that stuff. What do you have to say of what me, Beast, and Billsy was talking about?
You guys are well in line. I think that what I hear from all of you guys are good points and something that needs to happen. I'm glad, and thanks, Beast, for generating that conversation about having a pack. That's bringing that back out.
Well, now that I have to defer right up to the man up there.
Absolutely. He's about one above him for the woman, but
the one currently. I'm trying to angle it right.
Not the one above us.
The one currently.
That's what I'm about to say. We're the men up there.
The brother in the blue that's currently above me.
Right. There you go. So, but you're right. And one of the things that got my attention from what you said, Donnell, is when you talked about we not taking advantage of situations. Like, for example, if you look right now, if about 95% of every black man that owns a legal gun in America is a member of the NRA. But I don't know how many people rights Wayne LaPierre and NRA, NRA president Wayne LaPierre, and write them and tell them, hey, we need to stop supporting this brutal killing of a black man, because when you own a gun, they register you and they give you a free membership of NRA, National Rifle Association. It's just same NRA that gives Republicans money, all that kind of stuff. But most of us don't know we're the members of them. Like if you have a gun, you bought it from the gun store, you get an NRA
honorary.
They get an NRA membership. So as many of us, because I see a lot of young brothers and sisters going to buy guns. That's the new thing the black folks do now. You don't know that. You're not even taking full advantage of being able to be in this space and being able to say that, hey, I'm supporting the gun owner, NRA member. I'm gonna make sure I tell my organization they need to be more friend to black people. So the action part of it is what we kind of like sometimes often lack at. And we need to just be more active. We talk about stuff a lot. Oh, this happened, that happened. How about the solution? How about acting on the solution? How about not just talking about it? I mean, so that's one thing that when I'm around the brothers and sisters, I get real hot when I realize we're starting to talk a lot and we don't get to the point where we start to take actions. And I try to let them know that, I'm not being hot just to be disrespectful. I'm being hot because I feel like like this is a mistake that we keep allowing ourselves to make, and we cannot afford to continue to make it. So we should just always be about action, make it happen.
Right.
So that's
we need to focus on our needs. Like everything Mayor's saying is correct, unabashedly. But for the more simple or unconsciously unenlightened, it's real simple: wants and needs. You need to get your ass up in the morning and go get some money, because you need a place to stay and you need food to eat and you need somewhere to lay your head. Now let's take these necessities and put them in the grand scheme of our culture and our race. We need to be universally and unilaterally respected as fucking humans. We need to have the same guarantee that is afforded any other subset of Black. We need to ensure that any efforts, any progress that stems from our base is properly patented, notarized, and associated with us. We need to make sure that we are no longer in a position to where we want to whine about some shit. We need to come together and show them that, hey, like they said, we want it. And back in the 60s, that want had a different meaning. We want this. Y'all want us to do this. Well, until you give us what we want, we won't give you what you want. Now we had to take it up. It's not a demand. This is a declaration of necessities. We need these things. And by our mere presence on this plane and on this area that is defined as America, you need our energy. You need our essence. So if you don't give us what we need to feel as though we can facilitate and function on this land, how can we give you what you need?
Right. And one thing, it's funny. I actually go and watch some YouTube shows, and how the conservative Blacks they be saying, well, Black people, we're not going to be that powerful majority because the Latinos and the Latinas, the Hispanic community is going to bypass us. And I said, that's hogwash. That's dumb and that's stupid and that's ignorant to say. I'm going to tell you why. Who spends the most in this country?
No. I'm about to go fat kid on you.
Who? Go ahead. I'm go ahead. Hot tag.
I'm about to go fat kid on you. What two things go great with everything?
Wow.
Chocolate, as well as the thick, succulent, healthy, plump, often curvaceous meat that is bacon.
What the hell? No.
That's in my head, but
yeah, I was thinking something else. But
now black folk like chocolate, like bacon. Don't we go good with everything? If you want to make some bullshit passable, cover it in chocolate or throw a couple strips of bacon in that bitch, and the thicker the better.
I see what you did, brother.
that
I
is-
see exactly what you did. I see
But
He got
But,
the laugh.
So-
I told you I had to go fat kid on him now.
Let me
Go
elaborate
ahead,
on
Bill.
this one.
Go ahead,
Hold
Bill.
on.
Tag
Let
off,
me
tag off. Come
elaborate
on.
this one. Okay.
We playing
So what
Foursquare
this
right now.
brother
Let's
just
go.
said- I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong. What this brother
Mm-mm.
just said, right? You put chocolate pretty much with anything, it's gonna make it good, regardless of the fact. So the thing is, if you give us what's the right way to say this? You give us slavery, you get Negro hymns, right? From Negro hymns, you get blues, right? From blues, you get rock and roll, right?
Well,
And it all
hold on.
started
I'm
with some chocolate.
I'm at throw one in there. So you
Do it.
get soul
There
by
you
the
go.
affect
No,
of
no.
Southern soul, but that's
Right.
hidden within the gospel. But we don't like to speak on that for right now.
Yeah,
But I just want to throw that soul aspect out
speak on
there.
that. Speak on that because therefore it was paved all the way down Beale Street in Tennessee, right? Which is how Elvis Presley even got the education that he got, right? Am I wrong?
No. He got learning. He got learning.
He was the student of the game. So
No.
I see what you did right there. I got you. Yeah, bro. You are on.
Let him hear. As a beast would say, let him go through you.
Yeah.
I'm like y'all, like we all saying, and we're all. Every melanated person need to understand and realize this world started with us, the darkness, the black, the void.
Yep.
And no matter, and even in the darkest of night, there's that form of darkness that illuminates like the light. And if you put every fucking color together, you're gonna get dark. And what they say, hey baby, it don't matter what skin color you are, we all the same color in the dark. Shall I continue? Shall I, etc.
I see T. Fletcher saying, I'm the bump in the night, motherfucker.
You know what I'm saying?
So to bring all of that together, even this, with a black person like Tommy Hilfiger, for example, you think people wouldn't wear Tommy Hilfiger if they didn't have a certain brother or sister wearing it? Or in the words of Rev Ron, he said, Calvin Klein, no friend to buy. I don't want nobody's name on my behind. And what they was rocking.
It's beautiful you brought up Hilfiger though, because that truly shows the power of black folk. Because black folk loved it because it had a nice summer urban fashion feel to it. But then that rumor popped out around the late 90s that Hilfiger don't like niggas. But what did that do? That caused
same thing happened to Timberland too.
It started a shift in the case of Hilfiger because he had to bring it up, and they just now revisited because he brought it up. He pretty much tried to squash it then, but it never came to light really till now. But he addressed it back then like I ain't never fucking said black folk can't, don't, look, no. If they want to wear my shit, wear it. Like he's like, I personally ain't got no issue with black folk, but all that stigma forced him, and you could tell it forced him to change up his whole design swag because the damage was done. He couldn't really put anything out there to get the white folk to be on that. Niggas would still look at like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see,
and that fucked his money up too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another big thing. Everything black people touch turns to platinum. Everybody wants to do it. Everybody wants to sing it. Everybody wants to wear it. And people got to understand that. You think the NFL would have been as big as it is if it was for people like us? And then also, I'm watching. I just
No. You think basketball? That's
basketball too. Yeah.
That's their sport. That's their sport. We only got. Let's just speak on the shit they make. Basketball. I won't say football because that's based off of rugby and that's them island niggas. So I won't say. I won't say baseball. Well, I'll say I don't know who fucking started cricket first. I know Punjabs do it, British do it, and we turn it into baseball. But I know for sure. I know for sure. White folk made basketball and golf, and let's be real. Niggas didn't know shit about golf until Tiger. It's niggas I know to this day ain't never watched a game of golf in their fucking life. But they'll go cop that PGA. They'll go cop that Tiger Woods, whatever the current year it is. If Tiger drop a golf game right now, I can rattle off 4 niggas right now that's going to be like, let me check it out real quick.
Look,
what's the price?
And look, and even for Tiger Woods, when he was in the game, now you see a lot more black people playing golf. Definitely the rich ones. Now, anybody remember the show Malcolm and Eddie? I think it was Malcolm who was dating
it's more than that.
The girlfriend. Yeah, he was dating the girlfriend.
You seeing niggas like me. You're not seeing Donnells. You're not seeing Mayos. You're not seeing Billingsley. You seeing niggas like me pulling up with eyes and shit with this hair and this motherfucking towel.
Yeah.
And most likely I'm probably gonna have this bitch in my mouth. I won't go neither. We gonna this is for the back nine. Look, just sitting there just swinging, you just hear like, yo, man, what the fuck? You know, hear all that type of stuff, like you hear on the streets, but they in khakis, wearing shirts with this little logo right there, with the crocodile. Now just I know it's gonna get to the point where you just hear click. Hell yeah, my nigga, look at that bitch. Motherfucker saw it like a 7.7.
Here's the crazy thing. White folks not even afraid no. Mainly the old white women. They're not even afraid no more. They was like, yo, what's up? Yo, Granny, you playing too?
You know why? Because look, because the old folk, them the ones that they was at the jazz clubs. They were the beatniks. They were the hippies.
Yeah.
They had the fantasies, and it's just like now they're in a position to where it's an era to where you could honestly say, "Hey, I've just always had a fantasy involving black people." It ain't got to be that type of fantasy.
Right.
Sometimes it is.
Right. Y'all. I'm telling you, when I hung out with y'all, I always felt like myself. You don't have to feel like anybody. Like I literally had somebody come up to me like, I can feel, I can be myself around when I'm around my brothers, around black people. Around my own, it's just like I got pucking my butt cheeks tighter. But unfortunately, before we go any further, I'm gonna do a thing for Mayo because she's gonna have to be leaving soon. So Mayo, we're gonna have Mayo's Lounge early, so you can sign off. Once again, Mayo,
probably.
We always appreciate you being on here. You are part of the panelists. You are part of the family, man. You know, when you hurt, we all hurt. But if you can get Cornell West up on here, I can happily oblige.
Look here. In fact, let me help you out. Let me help you out there, Mayo. Whoever you known to bring in, tell them that because you're going to bring them in to further this discussion of the Black Pack, aka the Chocolate Consortium.
Oh, I like that. I like it.
All right, so
all
right, so let's go ahead. Let's go and take a trip to Mayo's Lounge.
As usual, I bring y'all with a song. I just want y'all to know, we just begun. This thing we've been doing, man, we just begun this thing. We're gonna take it to the next level. It don't matter who don't show up, who don't show up. we've only just begun. So that's the song for tonight. And I'm gonna get a song going in. Glenn Jones is who we want to make sure we play tonight. We've only just begun. The idea is that, our community, all the struggles that we have, it might look to some of us that again, like, it's so hard and it's almost insurmountable. But our struggles are very surmountable. We can overcome our troubles and our struggles. What we have to do is make sure that we elect the right people in office. We have to make sure that we have patience for each other. At the same time, on the other spectrum of that patience, we have to push ourselves to act on action. And that's the only way we can get out of all we're dealing with. We have to work together. I hear about buying black and all this stuff. We say, yeah, it sounds good. We campaign them for all this things, and people don't really do it because folks are in different places. And we're not monolithic no more as black people. So there's a lot of black people around the world doing different black things. The idea is to love the idea of being black. The idea of knowing the idea of being black, that black is global. There's a young man that got killed in Detroit, Detroit area, this past couple of weeks, and Al Sharpton was there for the funeral and all this stuff. I'm glad to see now that, and even in a sad situation, that we fight and protest, black lives being killed, regardless of what kind of generation of blackness they are, if they're first and second generation or multi-generation. We're starting to love each other a whole lot more, to understand that we're all one together. And together we're bigger than any other race around the world. Black is global. And with that, we should not be the one struggling. We should not be the one everybody's picking on. So that being said, we've only just begun. I look forward to the days, maybe when I'm old in 90s or 80s or maybe almost gone, where we have black contractors here going to do work in Africa and build in Africa and come back home and build the money back over here. And we don't have the hood, which is very, we don't have the hood, which is very, empty of income, and rooted with poverty and intellectual poverty and physical poverty. People don't have enough food to eat at home. They have to go to the welfare aid. They have to go to the drug dealers' aid. Kids are starting to get into working for drug dealers and stuff. Those are the issues some of the issues that we've had in our community. That's the poverty that we've had. We got to find a way to also work on the intellectual side, where we have young boys and girls who want to be like W.E.B. Du Bois. We want to be like all the scholars we've had. We gotta have that need, that yearn for that again. Where everybody don't want to be a basketball player, everybody don't want to be a football player, everybody don't want to be a rapper. We need to go back to looking for that. So again, we have a long way to go, but we've only just begun. But that's one of my songs, that I like to listen to a lot. Y'all know I gotta leave y'all with one. So that's what we come into today's session with. We've only just begun. And we have a lot of love to give ourselves too. We gotta do it. We don't have a choice. The only thing that can heal us is love, and it has to come from within. Because there's been a lot of love that's been taken from us, snatched away from us, from all the way from Africa, snatching babies from people and taking them across the sea. And we get here, then they snatch babies from people again. We throw bodies over the water. The only thing that can bring that back is love. The Emmett Tills of us that have done. All the people they've been lynched and killed for no reason, hung up on trees like they're apples or like they're bad fruits and stuff. What we've dealt with in this country, rape, all kind of just torture and all kinds of things we dealt with. We hold that within, and until we release that, because we love each other enough to know to release that, the struggles might still be with us. So, just want to remind everybody, we've only just begun. We have a lot of ways to go, and we can get there. Thank you.
Greetings. I am Professor Anita M. Jope, the Executive Director of the African Roots and Heritage Foundation, and I am here in spirit with you with the Southern region in the celebration of African Languages Week. We have a very good program designed for you, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. And remember this one thing. If you are an African American or an African that was born in the diaspora that was taken from their homeland, remember this one thing. During African Languages Week, we want you to reach out and learn an African language. And if you are an African born on African soil, we want you to speak your native language, because when you speak your native language, we get to hear the voices of our ancestors. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for making African Languages Week a total success. Kwaheri ya kukaona. Goodbye until we meet again.
All right, I thought it will only be proper if we have our last half of the show based on, well, not based, but in Beast Community. I think it's
hold on now.
right.
Hold on
It's
now.
a hell of a
You said base.
neighborhood.
Yeah, you said base. I started looking over like, hold on, what my chords at?
So I'm just going to lead in and say this, and let's talk about the gist of us sticking together and actually being about what we talk about. I think that's the biggest issue that I see definitely with us black men. I'm so sick and tired of seeing these Instagram videos, these TikTok videos, these YouTube videos, these Snapchats, whatever you want to call them. They go out and okay. The worst one I've seen thus far is the one where you had all those brothers dressed in suits at the Capitol, raising their fist up. And I'm like,
if you pretty bitches don't sit the fuck down.
Right. It's like, okay, y'all dress nice. Wow, y'all staying on the Capitol.
If you pretty bitches don't sit the fuck down and wrap up your goddamn weave.
Did y'all march in to the freaking Capitol to y'all representatives and be like, hey, we still getting killed out here?
No.
What are you gonna do?
No. This is the bane of my fucking existence when it comes to my fellow brothers. Why the fuck you want to be known for everything? Why you want everybody to see what you can do? I was raised by what I was thought to be sociopaths, but they was just real alpha men. You know, it's an art of war when it comes to life. Martial arts is all about deception. The mafia teaches you to hide in plain sight. Never judge a book by its cover. Transformers, more than meets the eye. This is how we're supposed to operate. This is how we're supposed to move. It's how you facilitate and supplement. It's how you maneuver. It's how you get the favor, the clout, the knowledge to do whatever you need to do at that moment in your benefit for your self-preservation. I know both of y'all are listening to how I'm talking to the cadence of my voice, like this nigga talking like he really ran them streets.
Bro,
I did.
You are oozing with realness. So that's what I was like.
Well, see, like it's two calibers of knuckleheads that ran the streets. You had the knuckleheads that did it because they wanted to do it for some kind of peer pressure, acceptance, acknowledgement. And then where I fell in the other category of prerequisite survival skills.
Yeah.
Your current situation has you programmed to just plan for that to be somewhat of an inevitability. So if you're forced to be a man, or how they say, get your hands dirty,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you'd be surprised the illegal things you can learn up until the age of 16, when in most states you're legally considered as an adult. So all that tomfoolery is now grown man bullshit. But I was one of the ones that did it dolo. So most of the shit I do is because I hang around. I grew up around y'all. Like what people see on TV and stigmas, these are the motherfuckers I grew up and actually raised me. These are the ones that gave me knowledge and insight and gave me the guidance and wisdom that has helped me get to this point, unbeknownst to me.
Yeah, and
it was these type of individuals, these type of less than reputable individuals in society.
And that tried to cut you off, but I do, but Peace, I do want to thank you for introducing me to somebody's music that I didn't know that I was listening to and didn't know that he was a pimp. Was Sugar Free.
Oh yes, sir.
Sugar
I mean,
Free.
With a name like Sugar Free, one of two things. I'm gonna tell you, he either a pimp, uber pimp, or he is the most manliest nigga that ever walk out of prison. Why they call him Sugar Free? Because ain't no punk in that.
No, because him and Snoop Dogg. Yeah, because because
if I hear Sugar Free, I either see a slit back on the street with some, or I see a big swole motherfucker that deadlifts, backflips 450 pounds. Like, Sugar Free.
He and Snoop Dogg had a song, "Stop Thinking with Your Dick, Boy," and before that song got started, him and Snoop was chopping it up. Yeah, him and Snoop was chopping it up, and he said the problem with these young cats nowadays, they're thinking with the small head, not thinking with the top head. Because when you have old cats like me trying to preach him the game, I can tell it goes in one ear and out the other. And I'm like, I literally had to sit there. I literally had to sit there and think about it. I was like, because I always listen to older cats before me because they saying, man, nothing ain't changed. It's just a different name to it. And I sit back and I listen, but hearing the conversation that him and Snoop Dogg, because him and Snoop Dogg kind of in the same age range, I'm sitting here like, yo, this shit's fucking deep. I mean, to any simple,
it's so true.
Yeah, because any simpleton could have listened to that, and it would have went one ear out the other, and that's what makes it so deep too. Because hearing it is one thing, but actually hearing it and them saying like, yeah, it's gonna mean nothing to just some regular punk that think they know everything in the world. It's gonna go right through the ears, and I'm like, damn, even him saying that was deep. Because I believe that's the biggest issue when you got OGs, and I'm not just talking about in the streets. I'm talking about OGs in business, OGs in politics, OGs even in your own family, that they're not gonna hold nothing back. And the misconception is about holding back. People always think that's bad. No, holding back could be good things too. Like you could, let's say I'm gonna use my mom. Mama, I love you. I'm just using you for example. Let's say my whole entire family just shit on my mom.
When speaking on family, you just gotta put it, knock on wood. Mama,
yeah,
I love you.
Yeah. So let's say my whole entire life, I'm hearing my aunts and my uncles sitting there saying how a piece of shit my mom is and how she left me. But it's always that one second or third uncle, the one that always come in the room. Everybody shut the fuck up. That comes on up in there. The one that comes on up in there. And when you get old enough, let me talk to you, young blood. You know when they say young blood, you know it's gonna be something deep. Come here, young blood.
Now you know within that tone. Come here.
That's that dude Batman. He's the Batman of your family because he knows shit on everybody.
Everybody. And he dare anybody to say his business because he knows he's about that business. And so,
he the one that you you call for family emergencies and family barbecues. You don't call them for family holidays.
Oh no.
Because the wrong motherfucker say something stupid. Hey Charles, get your wife.
Yeah, boom.
Charles, get your wife.
Get your wife. She gonna get stretched. And I'm not meaning another way. She gonna get stretched.
Like, and look, this ain't the first wife you done had over here say something stupid. This probably won't be the last one. Get this one. I actually like this one.
Mm-hmm. And so bring me to the side and be like, all that shit that your aunts and uncles been saying about your mama, that shit ain't true. This is the real deal. Your mama was there for you. Your grandma, that one right there that was giving you $5 and all that stuff, she didn't give you $5 because she loved you. She gave you $5 to cover up that your mama was there. And 9 times out of 10, that money that she was giving you was coming from your mama.
From your mom.
It was coming from your mama. And the crazy thing is, I heard stories like that before, where it wasn't even like the father, mother. It was majority of times with the father. It'd be the father giving them clothes, but they think that it's coming from their mom or coming from whoever in the family.
That's the new black trend that's coming out amongst us now. You got cats our generation about 10 years back. They're publicizing and projecting the black male perspective narrative. Is just like, look, my mama wasn't shit. Like, I just found out that all the shit my mama told me growing up was bullshit. Had me thinking my daddy ain't love me. Like, I just met my daddy. Like, one dude was like, I just met my daddy. Man, we kicked, chopped it up. And like, he told me what it really was. It made so much sense. And like, looking back and shit. So now I'm pissed off at my mama. He just did a whole little rant. And Ayala did a whole episode that's trending right now. Cause I don't know if you see, you know what I'm talking about, Benson. For those that are unaware, it's a lifetime accusation where the mother accused the father of rape of the 3 children. And 25 years later, we find out it's a lie. And mama just took it with a straight face. Like, we're seeing now that not all mothers, not all black mothers are inherently good. And a lot of them choose to be single mothers.
Yeah. Yeah. You and see, we don't want to talk about that part. Or as they say now, that part.
No, I talk about it. I talk about it. You know why? Because I'm 38 years old and I ain't got no fucking kids.
But
you know why I ain't got no kids? Because I tell every last one of the females, it's at the end of the day, darling, it's your choice. No matter what I want, no matter what I really desire, you're the one that has to physically go through it.
Yep.
But understand, I just ask that you let me know up front. I'm either going half on the operation or I'm going half on diapers and tuition. You just got to let me know up front.
Right. Yep. Go ahead, Bilson.
No, but what I was basically saying, I mean, you're completely right. I mean, I was in the hopes, my family don't, I guess see this, but then again, I don't give a fuck. The thing is this.
We grown, goddammit. I fight back.
I have, but I've lived.
I'll fight back, and your knees and hips ain't as strong as they was when I was 12, nigga. That's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, Phil.
But continue. Continue. My apologies. My apologies.
I grew up. I literally grew up as a mama's boy, and I literally deemed myself as my mom's road dog. You know what I mean? Because she gave me my first drink. We got, we always went to different parties that my uncle threw and everything like that.
That was my hot butt.
In whatever situation.
Love you, button.
Huh? You said what?
I was like, you had me reminisce like that was my hot button right there.
Fuck yeah, dude! And then I protected her regardless of the fact.
My favorite aunt.
Even though I was 5 foot, well, not even 5 foot. I was like 4 foot nothing at that point in time. No muscle, whatever else. I felt like it was my duty to protect her regardless of what was going on, right? So the thing is, when you grow up, and I'm not throwing her business out there, when you grow up and you realize that the person that you admired the most had shit with them too, it fucks you up, bro.
Yes.
It fucks
Yeah.
you up
Yes.
so
Now,
bad. And
now
so,
imagine that post death.
right. No,
Mhm.
and crazy enough, they're both still alive. You know what I mean? And it had me at one point in time hating my dad so badly because all I was being pointed out was the fucked up shit that he was doing, right? But at the same time, he was providing. He had a roof over our head. You know, it was food on the table and shit like that. He ensured that we had what we needed in order to go ahead and make it. And so for the 18 years of my life that I was in school and all that shit, he made sure that shit happened. But he was never really given credit for that. It was more of the emotional shit and all this other shit and the shit that she was doing that I was giving a blind eye to. It only took me to be a grown person to really understand that both of these motherfuckers was doing dirt on both sides.
Yeah.
And so what you need, and so what it is within our community, like we're talking about on a regular basis, we have to understand there are two sides of the story. It got to the point that I apologized to my dad and I thanked him for for even staying in the situation that he stayed in. Because if he didn't, who knows where I would be at this point in time. You know what I'm saying? And I had and that's a fucked up thing to think about. But to have to go ahead and even out in your head as a child. And then figure this out as a grown person, like, yo, you did some gruddy shit too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what I when you said what you said, I totally can relate to that. Beast,
And what you just said right there just brought a new facet to the stigmas of the Black family or the after effects of our poor choice making.
Right.
And that's all Black kids grow up. You grow up hating the parent you hate as a child.
Right.
Is the parent you end up having the most love as an adult. Don't matter which one it is, because for you, I'm the opposite when it comes to you.
Yeah.
It was my mama.
It's like,
but that made me understand when they say, like, we as Black folk, we as humans, we need to really sit down and understand the meaning of words. So when they say honor your mother and father, honor them means give them the respect that they came together, they made you, and they stuck around long enough for your ass to get here.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, you got to be truthful with them from Jump Street. You got to tell the truth. One thing. Now I'm not saying that it's just only with Black families. This could be with other families, but let's talk about the Black family.
Let's start home.
This is what we can relate to.
Truth. Start being truthful. Now I can understand holding it for a while, because a 5 and 8 year old is going to take information differently than a 12 to a 16-year-old. You feel picking up my putting down. So I can understand wait at a time where I understand that you, mommy and daddy, are not getting along. Daddy, he's been getting you clothes and all that stuff. We're still friends, even though they could be a little loud, but still, we're not together, but he comes see you, but you're staying with me. So on the weekends, you can go see daddy. And then when the weekend's over, you come back here and we go to school. Or you tell them right before they're about to, head on to their lives. When they hit 18, about to go to college, if you want to wait until there to tell them, I think that's great too. And be like, look, you probably caught wind on why me and your dad is not together and all that stuff. Here's why. So that now you can go into the world and you're not carrying that burden, because people don't understand when you find that shit in the wash and you doing it in your own relationship, and you like, why am I treating my woman like this? Why I'm having issues with my woman? Or vice versa, why I'm having issues with my man? Because you grew up around it. Your parents normalized it. Your mom normalized it. Your dad normalized it. Your auntie normalized it. Your uncle normalized it. Their friends normalized it. Yes,
we have a habit of growing up desensitized by a lot of toxic shit.
Right. And
because we learned it from family.
Right. And us as kids, we know something is wrong. The kid, when we were small little kids, their minds are more open than anything. They understand what the hell is going on without understanding what the hell is going on. The kids gonna speak freely. They're gonna be like, Mommy, why is Daddy running? Why is he slammed the door? Why is he mad? You're not gonna tell your kid
that's once they get to the point to verbalize. I have figured out that these little motherfuckers know shit from Jump Street.
Right.
Within the span of the first 3 months. Like they know. They know. They know a lot more than we give them. They just haven't formed the cognitive force of verbalizing it.
Right. I'm gonna give you an example of that. To this day. So my mom is, what is she? She's in her 70s at this point, right? I'm in my 40s. I'm in my 40s at this point. So the thing is, me and her had a conversation like not too long. It had to been like last week or whatever else. And I brought up some shit that was I'm telling you, it had to been 30 or plus years ago. And she was shocked because I remembered that shit. You know what I mean? And then she was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You remember that?" I was like, "Dude." I mean, well, I didn't say dude because even at this age, I would get my ass whooped by her. But the thing is, she was like, "You remember that?" I was like, "For real, I remember that shit." You know what I mean? It's like you said, Bees. These kids, or both of you said, these kids absorb shit on a regular basis, and you don't even realize that they absorbed it until sometime later on in your life.
You know, as a parent, you don't find out until it calls your parenting into question.
Oh yes.
My first word was bitch.
Well, I'm not surprised.
And guess who I said it to? But guess who I said it to though?
You didn't say it to your mom, did you?
No. I said it to my mama's next in line sister, the sister directly behind her. They're like a year and some change apart. So the closest. But that's also the sister she has the most issues to. The day God called her home, that's the one sister that was like, I hate that bitch. And then she raised me to be on that tip. But it wasn't until I got to be an adult that, because I feel like why my mama don't like my aunt, and I can't really fuck with my cousins like that. So now as an adult, I don't really have a strong connection with her kids. But as an adult, I see exactly why my mama ain't fuck with you. And now that she gone, bitch, I don't fuck with you.
Yep. It's called loyalty.
You know what? I don't feel bad about calling you a bitch when I was a kid. Like I was like, I don't feel bad about calling you. And it was like, where'd you learn that word, mama? Because that's what my mama would call her in reference to her. Like she wouldn't say her name. She's like, that bitch.
But y'all probably
all. But we say as kids, I knew the energy. I felt the vibes change whenever she came around. So I subconsciously just like, well, my mama call you that. So bitch is a lot easier at that age than auntie.
so to bring this all together, to going back to me seeing these brothers in these suits going to Capitol Hill and saying, "Yeah, black empowerment," and to those making videos of like or videos like, "Black woman, I'm here to protect you." It sums up.
You're a superhero now, mother.
Yeah, right. It sums
I want you to take your cape tied ever so diligently, fitted with just a respectable amount of comfort and slack. Hang that motherfucker up and reenact Smooth Criminal.
Oh shit!
Oh my God. I forgot what.
And don't lean up, and then start singing the whole song with the cape on. I would prefer that you have some kind of structurally fitted pants. We don't want them to be loose, let alone become skewed to lower levels. We don't want to put that impression out there. I mean, if that's how you live your life, live your life.
Look,
but I digress.
I totally forgot what I'm about to say, but I'm gonna say this. But
you was about to say you agree. You was about to say this is why we had Beast on here, because I'm eloquent and articulate enough to say the evil, fucked up shit that everybody really wants to say, and wait till they get drunk and fucked up. So they, man, I be like that when I'm on that damn brown.
Yeah, yes, and which tie this all together again. I can all agree that we come from a generation. We come from a generation of doers. When they say if you don't shut that door and letting all this heat or this air out, I'm gonna beat your ass. Guess what happens if it happened again? We'll get our ass beat. That is a product. They're not from that type of era that we're from. I'm not with the Gen 6 and all that stuff. I came from generations of people that actually do the shit. We in the social media type of area where now if you show it on social media, it ain't true. Because I guarantee you, if any of those brothers watch this part of the show and hearing us saying these things, talking about how we talking right now, they probably would want to see us.
The Savage Soul says, y'all some pretty bitches. You need to sit down and do your hair. At the Savage Soul, same as my Cash App.
No. So they will see one of us on the streets and be like, "Oh, you gonna talk all that noise?" And if I get approached by any of these guys, I'm gonna be like, "Look, I stand by what I said, but see, all that attitude that you have right there, a police officer's beat one of us over the head over there, or one of us is over there talking to one of our sisters the wrong way, sideways. Why don't you use that energy rather than come at me because what I said hurt your little feelings, and put all those things that you did in that freaking post in real life? You don't always got to put that shit on social media. You don't always have to put it on Snapchat. But go ahead, Billsy.
I'm going to go ahead and interject and say this right now. Whether those people are watching this right now or not, or they watch it later, this is the wrong time to approach me like that, because I'm telling you, I'm going through some shit right now. The rage that's right here in the center.
Oh no, this is the perfect time.
Oh my God, that will come out. That will come out.
This is the perfect time.
I mean, you have a dog. You have dogs, right? That dog, and like you always say, Donnell, that got the dog in him. I'm letting that motherfucker loose, and it's gonna go ahead and rage for that moment, and then I'm gonna go ahead and leave, because I'm telling you, this would be the wrong time to go ahead and do some shit like that.
Oh hell yeah!
Those are facts.
And that's also
that's how I know I'm messed up in the head. That's why I know I'm messed up in the head, because I hear people say stuff like that, and I'm like, I disagree. This is like the perfect time. Like, no, it's not. This is a perfect, logical, and rational time for you to bring that type of energy my way. So I now have a logical, rational, and legally reasonable doubting reason
to whip your ass,
to release some get some shit off my chest.
Yeah, and that's the issue with us black men too, that we all can agree.
No, I don't make threats. I make declarations of intent.
Shoot, me on the other hand, I say I'm giving out good advice. If I'm you, I take it. If I tell you, if you don't get out my face for my whole leg is up your ass, that's not no threat. I can care less how you perceive it. I'm just giving good advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's what I say. It's a declaration of intent.
Right.
When
So it ain't
I
no
ain't threatening
threat.
you. I made a clear declaration of my intent, sir. If you
Right.
consist on being in this manner, I will be forced
Like
to
Right.
see how sturdy my leg is to your rectum.
be surgically removed from your ass.
Right.
Good sir, I am feeling quite inventive and creative. Would you like to be the first person to get a podiatrist-like prostate exam?
I'm saying.
Meaning, I'm gonna stick my foot so far up your motherfucking ass, nigga. I'm gonna tickle your prostate with my big toe and my little toe. The big piggy went to the market. The piggy at the hill went home.
I can imagine that freaking
The
avalanche
third
ride.
piggy had roast beef, and the piggy with my foot in his ass screamed till I broke it off of his ass.
Look, I can imagine the avalanche ride, and you just see the doctors. You got two freaking goddamn stretchers. They like, sir, what happened? I gave him.
Look, I'm gonna be over there. Look, I'm gonna be over there bopping this shit. I'm gonna be over there, motherfucker. I'm gonna have my earbuds in. Hey, I'm probably gonna be trying to smoke a blunt on the way up there. Like, hey, can y'all crack a window or something? Like,
right.
yeah, I'm about to smoke this, bro, because I got this on me and I don't want to go in there because the police gonna be like, so I'm about to smoke this shit.
No, I'm gonna look at the doctor. Doctor be like, sir, what had happened? What had happened was I gave this man advice. He didn't take it. Only thing he took was this foot in his ass.
Stop.
No, I know you gotta be real asshole. Like we was playing, like we was at the court, we was playing some ball. You know, we was feeling real NBA streetish. I was trying to, do it was supposed to be a 3-man, 1-man alley. I jump off his back, do a 3-6, and yeah.
And that's not happening.
And I was just looking, dude, like, I was just looking at him like, would you prefer to I tell him the truth?
Right.
Because I'm gonna tell the whole story.
No, because then they fuck with everybody here. Because then it's like it's a dude with another dude's foot in his ass. I pray to God this is nothing sexual.
At all.
So I just look at him like, would you? And I say, would you prefer I tell him the truth?
Because if it's sexual, he's the one taken.
I mean, that's obvious at that. Which eyes you want to use? It's obvious.
but see,
that's one of the times questions that need to be asked. Like some question that don't ask. It's not what you need to be asking. How and why?
Yeah.
And sometimes
who said what to cause this?
No, I don't even think. Sometimes, like they said, some things are left unsaid. They can pretty much guess. Like the look like yeah.
Well, yeah, some things are better left unsaid, but when you actually see Turner phrases come to life, you need to take a moment to analyze this, assess the situation.
Like, what the hell did you say?
like Married with Children. Like Married with Children, when they did that, she broke that foot off in his ass.
Oh yeah.
Just looking at the X-ray alone is like, word.
Like, shoot. I'm sorry.
Like, I heard stories. Like, I heard stories and shit, but damn.
I could be a
then your mind really start fucking with like, how big is the foot?
Oh no, hell no. My question be like, bruh, what the hell?
You see what I'm going with? You hope in a situation like it's a lady 6 And and not like in my case of 14 and a half. Like I'm over here with Peggy Hill and Sideshow Bob. Like you don't want that type of damage.
Look, mine's. Let's keep that 6.5. Okay, I'm just gonna keep like that. Even that's fucking painful enough. God damn. No.
I mean, look, in that type of situation, look, ladies, in that type of situation, 6.5 is better than 14.5. I'm just saying.
Wow.
I want either or. So maybe if you watch right now, I love you. Yeah, but going back to what we said, we gotta wrap up. We got wrap up don't even sound right now. But anyway,
but the shit.
That don't even sound right. Look. So once again, I think we should talk about this more, but also I want Mayo, even though he had to get off early. I want him to talk more about his 3D printing for housing. So we're gonna talk more business next Monday, as well as talking about. Go ahead.
I have something for the audience and the viewers. You know, whoever sees this when they see it, comment whether on this video or on the page or at one of us. The question is, what do you see in a chocolate consortium? First off, Google the word consortium. And to save you a Google trip, a consortium is bigger than, you got your businesses, then you got your corporations, then you got your conglomerates. A consortium is like a dozen of all them put together. That's a consortium. A consortium is just like, fuck just a couple of shit. We want money from every one of y'all for everything.
Yeah.
So as a Black person that facilitates every fucking grain of this so-called American dream that was definitely inked with our Black skin, what do you see in the chocolate consortium? What do you see? And first off, what do you see the main things that would truly structure it and maintain it?
That's a hell of a
That's
question.
good. That's a good question.
But that's a hell of a question.
Because I will pose that question again when we continue down. That's the main question I want to pose anytime we discuss a proper solution or get on this path for a unilateral agreement consortium.
All right, cool. And speaking,
it's a business version of George. It's a business version of George Clinton, baby. Parliament, no politics.
There you go. And
I am Senator Nose.
Before the phone. I never dance.
Representing the 3rd Ward of Funk. Here to make a statement to the dais of interplanetary groupness.
Hey, look. Just another day chasing the noses away. Come on now. Bring the phone. Come on now. Let me stop, because I got that song coming in my head.
Look, you about to fuck around, I'm about to end up grabbing some shit and play. I'm
right?
I'm gonna figure something out.
He said, "Put a glide yourself in the hip, in your hip,
dip in your hip.
Get on the
bucket." That man said, "Free your mind, and your ass will follow."
Yes, sir. And speaking of that, we're gonna go into our final thoughts. I might as well. I started with Billsley on the opening statements. I'm gonna go ahead and have him start off with us with the final thoughts. So here we go.
going to say this. It has been, we have talked a lot about all kinds of things today. What I loved about today's show is that even though it started out with somebody not living up to what they were supposed to go ahead and do today, it's the thing that I had mentioned prior to this thing even being aired, is that we were going to make it as good as possible. And I should, and I was very sure of that, even though that our special guest didn't go on. It is a big, big, big understanding that we all need to have within our community, that regardless of the obstacles that are in front of us, we have to go ahead and move forward, regardless. Even when we have people that could be helpful within the situation, we have to still believe within ourselves that we can do the thing that is necessary to make the good happen. And I think today, out of 4 Black men coming together, ensuring to make the thing happen, regardless what was advertised, it was a beautiful thing. I felt very honored to be on this panel, to be able to express myself in a way that I have been for the past couple of weeks or whatever else. But it's encouraging me to go ahead and do the necessary things that I need to do within my life in order to be fulfilled. So I would like to thank Donnell and Bees and Money Mayo, even Teach, because, I'm not going to be on this panel if Teach appears, because I'm going to disappear. So the thing is, this was a beautiful segment today, and or a beautiful show today, to show that we can move forward regardless of the fact. Not to take too much time. There you go. That's my final thought.
Well, Billsy, we happy to have you on board. And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tune into his show. Just follow him on his Isaac Billsley, his new Facebook page. Unfortunately, his old one got hacked. Oh my gosh. A lot of my friends' stuff is getting hacked. So please, ladies and gentlemen, be careful. For me, yes, you get used to being the producer, the host, the engineer of the show, and having a guest not come in kind of, is part of the job, as they would say, because like I said, Levy, whatever the hell he wanted to be called, was not the first or the last person that did a last minute rain check on the show. Some were reasonable, like I said, I gave you an example earlier in the show, and then the other ones we either didn't heard anything back again, or we just heard a BS excuse. But like the saying goes, the show must go on. That is the most truest words that you hear in show business, but also you can relate that in your life. You could have been on a blind date and your date didn't show up. I don't know who ever had that problem before, when you find them on Tinder and you say meet them at the theater and you hear that they coming and they never showed up. But guess what I did? Because I was that person. I still went out, had me some fun in a nearby bar. And I was new to the freaking area, so my mind was open to all the possibilities. The show must go on. I mean, you can relate to anything. Could have been a business deal that you thought that you had it, but come to find out that they had it for somebody else. You just go sit there and dwell on it. Yeah, you're gonna be frustrated, but guess what? Show goes on. Either you go back to the drawing board, or you just be like, "Fuck this job. I'm gonna create my own opportunities." So no matter what situation that you find yourself in, no matter if it's something that you're just so used to, you always gotta keep going. The show don't stop for nobody. Come from somebody who did theater for 2 years in high school. They always talk about a stage left and a stage right, even though my left is your right here, my right to your left right here. You always hear people say when things go left, exit stage left, exit stage right. When your scene is up, coming up, you enter stage right. And once you do your part, no matter how many parts you have, or you just got that one little part, enter stage left. But you realize I didn't say that the show stopped. You could be a showstopper like Shawn Michaels, but even after Shawn Michaels performed Mr. WrestleMania himself, the show continued on. Just like Undertaker Street, the show still continued. Because after that show, everybody's waiting for the next WrestleMania. After winning an Oscar, everybody's looking for who's going to win the next Oscar next year. The person that should have won this year, it's going to be their time next year. The show goes on. And if you understand that fact, not even the fact, if you understand that truth, the world is at your feet and nothing bothers you. That sounds like a man or woman that's in control of their destiny. So no matter what happens, the show must go on. And once again, I'd like to thank Sky Zone Society for sponsoring this commercial-free show. Thank them. I'd like to thank Sky Zone so very, very much. And with that, I yield the floor.
I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Know your fucking words. Understand the true meaning of them. Understand the true difference so that when you use them, you invoke the proper response that you're trying to get. So, ladies, men have no problem going out to eat with a woman. Men have no problem paying for a woman's dinner. Men have no problem going Dutch, because all these things are under the constructs and understanding that sex is plausible but not possible. But once you start perceiving it and placing it and inferring it into the realm of possible, then you better not bullshit. When you bullshit, you see what you have now. You have technology that sets you up to where, hey, if she want to pull that card at the end, split check, I'm out the door. I've been in situations like that, and I know what it was. But you want to play that game? Okay. I'll wait right there till the ticket get there. When the lady came with the bill, she's like, so how was your date? I was like, well, that depends. If it's a date, then I'm obligated to pay. But a date also means I at least get a good kiss and a quick 2 minutes of booty rub, jokingly. But if it's not a date, if we don't know that tip, I understand. We can split it. She says it's a date. And I say, yeah. Bullshit, but nonetheless, you knew what you wanted, but you professed it as a date, which will put people in certain required obligative modes and mindsets. So understand your words. Know the difference between your wants and your needs. Because if your needs are taken care of, you can easily get what you want and you can thoroughly and truly enjoy it. With that, I yield the floor and thank you for watching the show.
Yes, sir. And once again, Skyzone Society, thank you for sponsoring the show, as well as having the other half of the show on Beast Community. On behalf of Mayo, once again, we apologize for. No, we ain't gonna apologize for that shit.
It's Mayo. Money make Mayo move.
Yeah, look, if Sanders, don't let, for any person that want to be a guest on the show, don't let that be an example of why not to come on the show. Don't let that discourage you. Yes, I had questions.
No. Let that be an example as why you should come on the show. Because you see how we professionally handle shit like this.
Right. I had questions for days. And me and him, after reading his stuff, some of the stuff I identify with. I don't care if a person who fully got all of my political views, I'm still going to ask the tough questions. Definitely would pertain.
That's your fault. That's your fault. Because the thing is, you came prepared. And I really, and this is my thought pattern on this. I think he believed. I believe he knew that, and he probably felt like. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is correct.
Go ahead, Wilson. Yeah.
He felt like it was probably going to be a setup for those particular questions that you super prepared for, and so he wasn't ready for that type of smoke, as they call it, as those kids usually say now.
Yeah.
I got some smoke for him.
Yeah.
Huh?
I got some smoke for him.
You got some smoke for him,
bruh.
I got some smoke for him. It smoke pretty good. It smoke pretty good,
bro. If
he should be able to take it.
I know you got it.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, he compared to,
and I was coming respectful. I honestly just wanted him to give a quick update of those that know who his daddy is. This is who my daddy is. The folk that know the name. This is my association politically and professionally when it comes to respect to my father. Right. And this is anything in regards that my father would be doing. This is how I would represent and be connected to. That's basically what I needed him to know for the dumb niggas like me.
I mean, but at the same time, I was going to make him be himself and to relax around us.
Yeah, because he
asking the tough question.
The face look questionable. Had some Negro highlights in the T-zone.
And so
that's why he didn't come through.
But I was
gonna fall on him.
It ain't like his daddy named Strong. It ain't like his daddy named Strong. I mean, shit.
No, it's just like Jesus holding his cross. That was a heavy bear to have, bro. And I'm telling you, that was a heavy cross to bear, bro.
So Sanders, Levi Sanders, if you're watching this right now,
come on, bring your hands, bro.
Or Mayo show you a part of the show where we are disappointed, but we still went on. The invitation is still there. It is still there if you want to come on this show and have a conversation, because you're not just talking to a panel of brothers, you're talking to a black community that actually going to ask questions, not softball it to you or be too tough on you. I just want to
politically speaking, you can be around me. You can legally say you are around individuals that partook of marijuana, but you yourself were not in direct contact, nor did you inhale.
Whoa. Took part of drink too. But you didn't take part of that either. You didn't take part of any of that. You were just around it.
And then also before,
but hey. So you like but we were on a podcast.
It was on a podcast. But
we were all in separate locations.
But before we head on out, I do want to make this thing that Billingsley forgot to say when he was talking about the churches and mentioned all the people. He said Bill Clinton. He said who else you said that met in church?
OJ, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton.
And you forgot one other person.
Who was that?
Bob Dole, rest his soul. He was the only Republican I truly love because he actually went into the black community and actually had black stuff upon it. You didn't know that?
Really? I did not know
Yeah.
that.
Well, remember that can't look that happened after we found out he was using Viagra, and he kept it real.
No, look.
Like he was the spokesperson for Bob Dole was the spokesperson for Viagra.
Bro,
Like he's the reason why niggas was out here using it.
If you seen
For
his
his
wife
wife?
when she was younger, I understand completely.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it's crazy.
Bob Dole was the only that I seen, only Republican to go into the black community. It was like, hey, what's on your mind? He went to a church. So Bob Dole,
How you doing there?
Like
Bob
I
Dole.
said,
Damn.
Thanks for letting me come to the hood.
And the thing is,
What can I do for you?
and the thing is, Bob Dole, like I said, he was the only Republican that I truly love, and I would have voted for him. He just hung around the wrong crowd, but he went into the black community and he sat with the leaders and actually talked with them. Something that you don't see with too many Republicans nowadays. But rest in peace, Bob Dole, because even after he ran and lost against Bill Clinton, his career just skyrocketed for some reason because now he was on Pepsi commercials.
No, trust me. Bob Dole ain't resting. Bob Dole ain't resting. Depending on what was left in Bob Dole's system before he went up, Bob Dole ain't resting. And I'm just gonna respectfully keep it at that.
Okay, it's time to go ahead and show. As for my boy, my bro, Peace Johnson, and our new honorary panelist on Hashtag Fade to Black, Billingsley. And I'm your host, Tyler Alabante Bush. First of all, Space Scouts Own Society for sponsoring the show. Thank y'all for tuning in. And remember, we control the narrative. We will be back next Monday. Y'all all have a good one. Bye, y'all.
Man. Dude.
Yeah, I'm flipping, spitting these lyrics. Got you feeling what I be saying like you caught the Holy Spirit now. I done went through some shit up in my past, but it fertilized my future. Now I'm harvesting my cash. I like them pretty, but they can't be hot, so did it. Talking like I'm gon' buy what you want, you think it's silly, girl.